specific agenda. I don't have a outline. I don't have anything that I'm going to read from. I didn't prepare a script or anything like that, but what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is just straight from the heart from me to you. And in a few minutes I'm going to have our new Chief of Police, Nick Metz, come on up here and say a few words. And so I'm going to call him out, and while he's back there thinking about what it is he's going to say, I want you to listen to my words. On behalf of the Aurora Police Department and police departments throughout the state of Colorado, the metropolitan area, throughout the United States, throughout the world, we thank you for your support. We thank you for your prayers. We thank you for your patience. We thank you for our understanding while law enforcement goes through a very trying time right now. And it wouldn't be, we wouldn't be where we're at right now if we didn't have your support. The people that back us up, that support us, that stand up for us whenever things seem to be going bad for us. If we didn't have that community support, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do. We wouldn't be able to put on this badge every day and this vest every day and this gun belt every day and get behind a marked patrol car and go on out and handle calls. We do it all for you. We do it for our families. We do it for the greater sense of good. We do it for a higher purpose. So thank you all for being here. The folks that I see, some faces out in the crowd, are folks from the Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association, some of our volunteers. And then of course our folks in the back who are here in uniform also supporting this event, as well as some of our officers here from several jurisdictions that are in plain clothes as well. I also want to thank our families, because without them we would not be able to do the things that we do. Their support is so invaluable to us, knowing that they have our backs, knowing that they are understanding when we get called out in the middle of the night, knowing that we may not be able to come home for a day or two. And to have our friends and our family members step up to the plate to take care of our families when we can't be there, to take after and look after our kids, to cook and provide meals for our families when we're down and out, when we're hurt, when we're injured, or if we're working on a specific call that might last 2-3 weeks or even a month. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to do this job. We wouldn't be able to continue doing this job. We thank our business leaders. We thank our folks in the elected officials' offices. We thank so many people, you know, our Aurora Police Association. We thank them for supporting us and allowing us to continue doing the job that we do and negotiating a good contract for us. So there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes, behind this uniform, that I can't even begin to tell you and acknowledge all the support that we receive. But let me tell you, we hear it and we see it. A few times that I've had the unfortunate circumstance to be involved in a motorcade bringing one of our officers' bodies from church to the cemetery. We've seen the citizens on the side of the road that are out there holding their hearts, that are waving the American flag, that are saluting us. I cannot even begin to put into words what that means to us. That support is awesome. And we know that we don't have that from everyone. And we know that we have miles to go before we rest. And we know that we have job security. However, it's the support of folks like you that allows us to continue to get up every single day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night, and put on the uniform and come out here and be honored to keep your streets safe for you. So for that, I thank you on behalf of the men and women of the Aurora Police Department and law enforcement nationwide. I thank you, and I think you all deserve a round of applause. Now I'd like to introduce our new chief of the Aurora Police Department, Nicholas Metz. And before you say anything about the weather, Nick comes from Seattle, and he's caught his share of grief over the past, I don't know, how long has it been since we've had sunshine? About 2 months? So,
since he got here.
I'm feeling really good.
So let's get one thing straight. First of all, I cannot control the weather. Okay? If I could, I would not be a chief of police. I'd have a cape and all that other stuff. So, first of all, I really want to thank you for coming out here today. This is an incredibly important day, and what you're doing is incredibly important. I've been in this job for 31 years, and the great thing about this job is I can tell you every single day I've never been bored. I never knew how my day was going to start, and I never knew how my day was going to end. That's the great part of it. But it also has kind of a double-edged sword, because as you go into this job, and as our officers can attest, every shift when they come in, they have absolutely no idea how it's going to start, and they have absolutely no idea how it's going to end. And I think when you've seen some of the high-profile incidents that have occurred just right here in Aurora, in the Denver metro area, you know, I think you have a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about. And when I was coming here today, I was reminiscing about the number of officers who, in my former agency in Seattle, who were lost in the line of duty. And I was kind of counting them up in my head, and I come up to about 10. 10 in the 31 years that I can remember, and in more than half of those I was directly involved somehow. Either was at the scene when it happened, was either responsible for having to deliver that message that no individual ever wants to deliver to a family, or having to plan the funeral services. And in fact, in 2009, we had a really bad spate right in the Seattle metro area where we lost 7 officers in 8 weeks. 7 officers in 8 weeks. And 4 of those were the high-profile incident where the Lakewood officers who were sitting in a coffee shop just having coffee. And I was thinking about that, and then I was going back just a couple weeks ago when we celebrated our own officers here in Aurora at our memorial. And I think the last officer that was killed in the line of duty was in 2006. Is that correct? Does that sound about right? 2006, 2007. So it's been a few years. But whether it was 2007 or the first officer in the early 1980s, that pain could still be felt within the police department. There were people there that remembered those situations and those events as if it happened yesterday. But what I thought was just real interesting, and I think Christian kind of brought it up a bit as well, is the fact that despite the tragedies that we see around our country involving our law enforcement officers, these guys behind you and Christian and others who wear the uniform, and some that don't wear the uniform day to day, they keep coming into work, knowing the dangers, knowing the fact that at the end of the day they may not come home. That takes a hell of a lot of courage. It takes a heck of a lot of commitment. And as Christian said, they don't do it for the money. I've seen their salaries. I can attest to that. All right, they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because they believe it's the right thing to do. They believe in serving their community, and they do it with incredible